Shemai GTA chums, we have the final drip-feared vehicle from the Drug Wars DLC. It's all-wheel drive, it's off-road class, it is obviously the Karin Boor. This is the one I've been looking forward to, and at only 1.28 million, I would say it's well worth it for performance and for customization. As I said, it's in the off-road class, so I'm going to be doing an off-road vehicle test. This is the main reason for this video. However, I am going to customize it first and show you the massive amount of customization on it. And those lights work on the front as well, so don't worry about those fog lights working there. Brilliant spotlights. And we have some spotlights up top as well, alas they are covered. But there's some very good customization. Look at these, the bonnet here, you can put a big engine in it, and you've got all sorts of great stuff. But one thing I should say, like the last DLC had the Drogo, which is arguably the best off-roader in its class. This is not a Droga, and we'll talk about that with the off-road performance. Now, we've got this lower, the secondary colours up the bottom end there, and we've gone for like a turquoise colour top end, main colour, and it goes well with that nice livery. We've not lowered it for the off-road performance because we need all the ground clearance we can get. This is, of course, a sports utility vehicle from Australia, also known as a ute, or a utility vehicle. Now, this was built with the mind of going to church on a Sunday, as well as doing some farm work, putting stuff in the back, that kind of thing. So you need to take yourself, your lady friend, and your granny to church. Let's look at the internals, see if our granny would fit in here. I think she would, but I think the it's a little bit dated, but it does look decent enough, you know. You don't look at the internals too much. Could be a bit better. So that's a bit of a drive around the city. How about off-roading? First off, water clearance. I saw a video when people were fording rivers deeper. I'm sure it was as deep as that, and as you can tell, it drowns. It will not go through water, even though it's got a snorkel on. Doesn't matter. No snorkel works in GTA. Ground clearance. Those logs, you need to smash them first in order to get the ground clearance, yeah? In other words, terrible. It's nothing like the Drogo whatsoever. It's not a proper off-roader in those respects. So what is it good at? What is it good at all? Let's try reversing. No, that doesn't work either. There's really no ground clearance, and this is the maximum ground clearance we're ever going to get with it as well. So let's do the Mount Chiliad challenge. So we're starting now with our off-road Chiliad performance, and it takes to the slopes quite quickly. But one thing I'm noticing is that it's got a bit of a wheel slippage, and that's making it a bit tricky there. But it is making steady progress as long as we're careful. Now, it's not just the wheel slippage that we're having problems with, it's also a little bit jiggly, so it tends to bounce a bit on the bumps. Yeah, you see, it almost went sideways there. So stability is not great on the Bora, on the proper off-road performance here. A lot of people, YouTubers, have been saying, you know, well, one YouTuber, I only watched one video, was saying how great it is off-road, and I was really looking forward to this, and I took a bit of a wrong route. I could have gone a bit more horizontal rather than vertical, but it doesn't neglect the fact that it's not the best on the upslope here. See if we get a bit better up top. That stability is going to become an issue in a minute as well. I'm not going to crash it, don't worry. So that's a spoiler. Actually, I have crashed it a few times. This isn't my first run. Now we're getting up to a donkey track, and we're going to go along the ridge line. See how happy I am with this? I just spun out there, and yeah, I'm still with it. This is the video I choose to publish. Now, going along at this portion, look at that, I nearly lost it there. It really struggles. The bounce and the kind of grip issues meant that I've fallen off a number of times and failed. I had to restart again entirely. So once we get to the top, we cannot go up the normal route because we don't have the ground clearance. We also got to be careful we don't overshoot once we go through the alternate route. So this is why I slow down here, make sure I don't fall over. We normally go left up that bit, but we don't have the ground clearance. So we're going to go left at the end and hopefully not fall off the mountain here, which we won't. You know, I already know what's going to happen. I've not done this live because I've done that many attempts at it. I swore too much. And we're nearly there, but we're coming up to 2 minutes there, so essentially what we're looking at there is 2 minutes and 12 seconds. So that is the proper off-road performance, but it doesn't end there, because I think there is a niche for this kind of vehicle, this kind of ute vehicle, and I think it does represent the ute properly. But look at how beautiful it is in the sunset. That's amazing. So, looking at the off-road performance with the Chiliad challenge spreadsheet, well, first off, the Droga's number 1, 1 minute 23. This is 1 minute and 2 minutes and 12. So you've also got the Novak 1 minute 42. So it's right at the bottom of the list, basically, with the Squaddy, the Wastelander at 2 minutes, and the iVagen. And even the Karin Rebel, sorry, the Weenie Rally is at 1 minute 49, and that's quite rubbish. So it's not a proper off-roader. But what I think it does quite well, if you ignore the slippage, is mixed kind of road and dirt track driving. So it's not going to win you any races. It's not by any means as good as the rally cars in this game, but it is very good once you get used to it. And I think the main issue with it on this surface is the lack of grip, which for some reason the all-wheel drive gives it that lack of grip. I really don't understand it. But that's the way it works, unfortunately, because it does have a decent amount of speed. You just lose it a lot because I'm slowing down a bit more than I should be doing. I'm using handbrake on the corners where I don't need to do that with the likes of the Flash GT, the Coleco, the Sultan RS Classic. But nevertheless, it is a very good drive, and it is enjoyable, and it does have great customization, and you can find your zen just by driving around. It's a good little rally number just in its own right, just for rallying around in your ute, and a lot better performance than I would have expected from a car of this caliber. Really, I thought it would be a lot slower, so it has exceeded expectations. It's just not a top-end performer with regards to being in the off-road class, and as just a general kind of rally doff-around car, it's not at top end either, but it's fast enough to make it exciting. And I think where it really leads is really a bit of drifting, to be quite honest. This is probably a better drift car than it is rally car, because it really drifts nicely on those corners. And yeah, maybe I should have put some no slips and done this as a drift video. Anyway, I think it's basically one of the best cars of this DLC, so I recommend it. For 1.28 million, it's cheap, so it's well worth it. And for the customization, the performance, everything you get, it's just a fun kind of vehicle. That's why you're going to buy this, so I recommend it. Get out there and purchase it if you can afford it. But give me your comments on what you think of the car, my customization, and also if you have any suggestions for me or any questions, I'm always willing to answer them for you. Anyway, I hope you have a most excellent day and have a great gaming session if you are playing Das GTA on GTA Friday. Thank you very much.